Hi, welcome back. Today we have a special talk with my friend Susan Waldenstrom, who owns Calm Care in Minnesota, Stillwater.
Water.
Stillwater. And I'm Morin from Morin Holistic Therapy. And today we have a video about how to make time for yourself when you are busy. Let's be real here. Who is not busy? I think busy is like just the way it is all the time. I don't know when anyone has any downtime. What do you think, Susan?
Well, I think we convince ourselves that we're doing important things when we feel busy. Thanks for having me, Marie. I'm at my office today, Stillwater Calm Care. And I think what I find with my life is that feel like we're always busy. And when we're busy, but we're trying to make time for ourselves, it gets complicated because we end up prioritizing everybody else over ourselves. So I'm glad that you asked me to talk with you about this subject today. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's all about the way we perceive our
Mhm.
lives. Like everything is so important. So we're going to give 5 tips. You have 3 up. I have 2. So what's your first tip?
Well, one of my first tips that I use in my life and I also suggest to my clients frequently is that you just need to take 5 minutes because sometimes people think, well, for me to get a good workout, I have to carve out an hour and then I have to go to the gym, then take a shower. And so I just don't have time to work out. And I think that's kind of how we are when we're busy and we're trying to make time for ourselves for anything. So I just think that if we can look at smaller chunks of time, if we can look at 5 minutes, you know how they used to always say that if you park far from the door when you're going into the grocery store, you get a little workout on the way in. It's like that. It's that kind of philosophy. So some people are saying, I want to meditate or I want to exercise or I want to, do a book study or whatever it is. But if an hour or more seems daunting, just look at what you can do in 5 minutes. So if you live in some place where you have a hill, or if you have an office that's upstairs, whatever it is, you can add that time in if for just a little quick exercise. A lot of what I advise my clients on is how to calm down. And so it's not always the exercise thing that we're focused on, but it's how can you rebalance or refocus, recenter? What are the things that you need for that? And sometimes it's just disengaging from the frenetic activity, the kids, whatever it is, and just taking 5 minutes to yourself.
I love that. Disengaging from the
Right.
frenetic. Perfect.
Quick unplug. Sometimes people like to just have a friend over and say, "Can we just sit for like 20 minutes, have a glass of wine?" You know, 5 minutes isn't long enough. But, when you just take a few minutes, put down what you're working on, and just spend 5 minutes with a friend or 5 minutes, you can lay down, set your alarm for 5 or 10 minutes, and take a quick rest. Not that you're sleeping, but just some quiet time so that you can just get your thoughts clear, and just rest and breathe and relax. That's the kind of stuff I like to coach my clients is how do you make time to just, relax and really get the most out of your time? And I just tell them just start with 5 minutes.
Right. Excellent. 5 minutes. Okay. So I have tip number 2, and I'm going to talk about something you cannot do in 5 minutes, or you can do in 5 minutes when you are busy. But how to make time for yourself when you're busy is basically just like you said, it's a perspective, right? Like your perception is, holy crap, I have no time. I
Right.
really can't do anything to take care of myself because all these other things are more important. But changing your perspective is sort of it's a discipline of saying, I'm going to make sure I carve out time daily to do something that will help me change my perspective and deal with the calm. Because I coach everybody about this as well, even my therapy and my coaching practice. It's how are you perceiving the way the world is. So now meditation is so good for this. And meditation does not have to be an hour. You don't have to sit in a lotus position, which I thought my whole life, oh, I got to sit there and go, with a mudra with my
Right.
hands. You don't have to do it. You could do it lying down. You could do a 5-minute meditation. You could do 10 minutes. You could do 20 minutes, as long as it allows. But just carving out time to meditate actually breeds into that whole perspective thing, so that you can now look at things a little differently. And your perspective might be, just as you said, you know what? This really isn't a priority for me. And what really is a priority is that I make sure that I fill the cup. If I don't fill the cup, I'm pretty empty for everybody else. So that's
No,
my,
I get what you're saying. And, if I can add to that for just one quick second, sometimes when we're really busy, we get caught up thinking, I don't have the time for that because we're so used to multitasking. I mean, I know I do that all the time and you do too. And so I love when people talk about doing a walking meditation. That is
Mhm.
so great because then you feel like you're accomplishing more than one thing at a time. And I think also clarifying what you're referring to as meditation, because sometimes people just need to focus on the sound of their breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And that's their meditation, which is so easy to do when you're walking. Sometimes people like to meditate or pray on a certain concept or thought or something like that. Different people have different ideas about meditation and how they want to best use their time in meditation. When people do a walking meditation, they can focus on their breath, they can focus on how their body feels, but they might also want to just focus on um, prayers and positive thoughts for their neighbors if they're walking around their neighborhood, that kind of thing. So it's just how people want to use that time. But I think the key with meditation, from my prerogative, is um, stopping all of our list making. I mean, like when I first started taking yoga classes, I'd lay there in shavasana and lose my pick in mind because I was thinking, I don't know how long this is going to last, but I got to go. I need to be at Target right now. And I'm going to forget the 10 things on the list because I can't write it down because I'm in shavasana. But I think that's the whole point of it, is that we need to set aside the list and the busyness and the craziness and the noise and all that stuff and turn it off, detach. And even if we do it for 5 minutes or we do a walking meditation, the practice is in detaching from the busyness in our minds, right?
exactly.
Mhm.
So just a quick about some of the things, a meditation that's, there are so many different types of meditation, but I prefer something called a yoga nidra, which is called yogic sleep. And it's basically deep relaxation by going through different areas of your body. And what it's done for me is teach me what it really feels like to relax
Mhm.
and to detach. Because by the time you get through 15 minutes of yoga nidra, you don't even want to come out. You're like, hey, could I just stay here all day? It's wonderful. So that when I'm very busy and I'm on that sort of like treadmill of I got a million things to do, I can't really stop. I don't really have time to take care of myself because I'm so busy. I stop and I say, okay, what is the physical sensations that are going on in my body? I am getting stressed. And I remember I don't need to be here. And I
Mhm.
could do some breathing, and it gives me a muscle memory to what relaxation really feels like. Because relaxation is not, is usually very difficult to pinpoint if we're not familiar with it, correct?
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I do. So that kind of meditation. So that's tip 2. Tip 3. Let's see. What are you going to talk about, Susan? Tip
Well,
3.
this is so great. And I honestly, this is probably my best tip. Breathing, which everybody thinks, oh my gosh, I breathe all the time. I don't even ever think about that. But the thing that I see all the time with people, whether they're in for coaching or for massage, is that we're stressed and we're either hyperventilating or we're holding our breath. I kid you not. That's what's happening. And when we do that, all of the activity in our brain is just like a pot about to boil over. But when we can use our breath to calm all of the stuff down, it's like it's just taking the lid off the pot, and just letting the steam settle. So I know people don't want to always make the time when they're feeling really busy to go into some sort of long process and they can't remember what they're supposed to do. So I have basically 3 different times that I think people should focus on quick breathing exercises, which we should do a video on breathing because that's a really good deal.
Okay.
So the first thing is like first thing in the morning. So I don't have a lot of time in the morning and I like to stay in bed as long as possible. Probably because I stay up too late. But in the morning, I like to just do a quick assessment, kind of head to toe. How does everything feel? And then I will do some really deep, nice breaths. So I usually am bad at visualizing. So I have to visualize and synchronize it with my breathing. So I'll do an assessment breathing in, my air fills my whole body down to the toes. On the exhale, it comes up. Or you can do it the other way around. And that way I can do a quick assessment, but I'm also oxygenating my whole body and my brain, which is an excellent way to start the day, right? So
Mm.
that's a really big deal. And then as part of that 5 minutes in the morning, I also really like to give up my day. So usually I have a day that's really filled with clients. I love all of them. Some of them are a little more challenging than others. And so I will basically just say, you know what, God, if you can love these people through me, that would be great. How do you want me to love the people today? I say this to myself and to God every morning. How do you want me to love the people today? I really think that having something like that where you're setting your intention for the day is critical for having a purpose and for accomplishing things. So then it helps you prioritize when you're feeling really busy. So first thing in the morning, breath work. Then the other key thing is sort of during transitions between activities. So it might be that you're in line at the grocery store, or you're picking up kids at school, or you're packing up your desk and getting ready to go home. Whatever it is, those are excellent times to remind yourself to do a couple deep breaths. So when we'll do the breathing video another time, but basically I'm talking about just a deep inhale. And then when you exhale, you keep your belly expanded so that it's like a vessel that you're filling with the next inhale. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's like you don't even have to use the muscles to do belly breath because your belly's already ready for the next breath. Just you can do that standing in line at the grocery store. But every time you transition from activity and you can spend a couple of minutes while you're doing the activities, so you're multitasking with a little bit of deep breathing, it just gives your brain more power, turbocharges your brain. And it takes that lid off the boiling over pot and lets that energy disperse to your body. Then the third one is when you're going to bed at night. And a lot of busy people have a hard time settling down at the end of the day. I try to write all my stuff down so that I'm not thinking about it, although I'm notorious for figuring stuff out in my sleep. But I think that the greatest thing is to just, if you have a meditation tape or something that you put on, or some kind of music, set the little sleep timer so it'll turn off in 20 minutes or whatever. And then really just give yourself the gift of a few deep breaths. These are cleansing breaths at the end of the day. And, I am a big fan of the multitask. So here you are trying to sleep. You might be listening to a meditation recording of some kind and you're breathing. Then you're killing it. So if you feel like a failure during the day, you kill it right before you go to sleep. Look how productive you were.
I love that.
It helps
I
you fall
love.
asleep with a clear head. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect. Breath work is so essential.
Mhm.
Just knowing how to breathe, knowing when to breathe, and it's always available to you. You can, or I tell my clients, try a 4-7-8. If you start to
Yes.
get agitated, if somebody's being a real, you know what, and you
Mhm.
need to calm down, just do 4-7-8. Nobody has to know what you're doing. And you know what? Another really good one. Now, this one is just like if you're upset, just start rubbing your cheeks. By the way, that was a little bit of a tangent, but okay. So, next tip. Oh, this is good. Being in the moment.
Mm.
So, how to be, you're always busy and you're thinking about things you're going to do next, right?
Right.
What are you going to do next? What's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to get all the groceries done? And what about my Christmas list? And what about all these different things? So, how to really be in the moment. Being in the
Right.
moment, of course, is mindfulness, and it's just taking a moment to say, all right, where am I right now? Grounding yourself, maybe taking a look and saying, oh, wow, that's a really nice tree. I see a cardinal or whatever it is. Or boy, I didn't know they had a Mercedes over there or whatever it is. Just ground yourself, like, and get yourself thinking about the present moment.
I
Start
love that.
thinking about how you
I love
feel. Actually, I feel pretty good right now. I could tell I'm a little like cooled off. I'm relaxed. I'm this, I'm that, whatever your situation is. And when you're in the moment, it kind of quiets all the noise about how busy you are. So that's tip number 4. And since
love
I'm doing tip number 5, I'm going to go right into my big bang, which is I tell everybody about this, is that if you're really busy, you have to add another thing. And you'll get me when I say this. You have to add some type of daily routine. And
Mm.
the reason why you want to add the daily routine is because it serves as, and I'm going to say this word wrong, a prophylaxis. I got that right,
That was
right?
pretty good.
A prophylaxis for stress. And it doesn't have to be any big whoop.
Right.
Don't you love that word,
I
big whoop?
do. I like that
All
even
right.
better.
It could be just like, all right, my daily routine is that I'm not going to get my feet out of the bed until I do a couple of deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set an intention. It could be just that.
Yeah.
And those two things, it's kind of builds your confidence muscle too, and your stress relief muscle, because you've already said, all right, I'm going to learn how to calm down, because then you'll identify what it feels like when your body, especially first thing in the morning, while you're still in that zone of, oh no, I don't really want to get up, but I have to get up, but I'm so feeling so like groggy. That time period to just learn how to get even deeper into a relaxation and breathing is golden. So
Yeah.
when you're really busy, add some type of, it could be complicated, it could be very simple, 1 or 2 things, a daily routine.
I
So
love that. I
that's our
actually
5 tips.
I think that routine thing is a really big deal, like you said. It's the big whoop because um, when we have a routine, we also feel empowered that we're in control of our lives a little bit. And I think sometimes when we're busy, we feel particularly out of control of our lives. So that's an amazing little thing to give ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, we had a lot of fun today, and we'll see you in the next video. Oh, if you like this video, like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, let us know what you think so we can make more videos that you like. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.